off in standing, either on your mat or feel free to step off just for a moment. And just settling yourself with the feet about hip width apart and in parallel. Just organize yourself, finding your neutral spine, feeling balanced over the feet, lengthened out through the top of the head. Just take a couple of deep breaths before we start. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just try and let yourself settle and release any tension. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Relax the arms and the hands. Feeling equal weight through the feet. And lengthened out through the top of the head. So just with the arms settled down by your side, palms facing in towards you, we're just going to float the arms up. So taking a breath, and as you breathe out, start to float the arms up in front of you, reaching above the head towards the ceiling. And now take the hands back behind your head. So interlock the fingers behind the back of your head. Avoid pushing the head forward. So draw the head back into the hands, elbows in the corner of your eyes. We're going to take ourselves into a side reach in this position. So take a breath. And as you breathe out, we're going to side bend over to the right first of all. So feel that your left elbow is now reaching, pointing up towards the ceiling. Feeling a stretch down through that left side. We're now going to curl ourselves forward. So take a breath. Breathing out as you start to roll yourself forward. So you start to look down towards the floor. And we're going to circle ourselves around over to the other side. So circling across over to the left, coming up on the left side, and just gently take yourself back. So we're circling round, back over to the right, and we're going to repeat that again. So we're going to start to flex it forward, circle ourselves down and around, coming over to the left, coming up on that side, circling back slightly, eyes to the ceiling. One more circle in this direction. Just a nice gentle movement, starting to release the spine. Complete your circle over to the right. Bring yourself back to the center, and we're going to do the same to the other side. So again, side reach first, over to the left this time, and then start to gently flex yourself forward. Taking yourself to circle down and around, coming up on the right this time. Taking yourself back slightly into a little bit of extension. And keep it going. 2 more circles over to the left. Keeping it going. Keeping the head drawn back into the hands. A nice fluid movement as much as you can. Completing your last circle over to the left. And then bringing yourself back to the center, eyes forward. Release the hands and float the arms all the way down. Well done. Coming into a classical side reach now. So with the left arm first, take a breath in as you reach up. Relax that shoulder on the back. As you breathe out and reach over into that nice side bend. So again, feel it down through that left side. And now as you breathe in, let the pelvis gently come across with you into that side bend to increase that flexion down through the side of the body. And then breathing out as we start to bring ourselves back to the center, balance over the feet, restack and float the arm down. Same on the other side. Breathing in as we float the arm up. Breathing out first of all into that nice side reach. And then breathing in, taking the pelvis across. Feel that the weight comes into that right foot. And then breathing out as we come back to the center, balanced, restack, and floating it down. Keep it going. Breathing in, floating the arm. Breathing out, reaching over. Breathing in, let the pelvis come across. Feel the weight into that foot. Breathing out as you rebalance, stack the spine and float the arm down. And again, breathing in and out. Breathing in, let the pelvis come across with you, increasing that side bend. Breathing out as you rebalance, stack the spine, float the arm. One more on each side. And our last one, floating the arm, reaching over, breathing in as you take the pelvis across, breathing out to rebalance and stack the spine, and float the arm down. Lovely, well done. So now, if you're not there already, just come and step to one end of your mat. We're just going to come into a roll down here for a moment. We're going to work through the legs slightly as well. So just standing tall again, settled into neutral, taking a breath in, breathing out as you start by nodding the head and then rolling yourself down through the spine. So let go of your head and your arms as you start to roll yourself down. Folding in the hips so you can come down and reach your fingertips towards the floor and actually try and keep the back of the legs quite straight. So try and avoid softening the knees here unless you really need to. And we're going to walk through the legs. So with your right knee, just start to softly bend the knee on the right, straighten through the leg, and then the same on the left, bending the knee and straighten. Right leg, bend and straighten, and on the left, just alternating. So walking through those legs. We're getting a little bit of stretch. One more on each side. Lovely. Now just soften both knees. Take a breath and breathing out as we start to roll back up to standing. Stacking through the spine. Pelvis, rib cage, and head on top, just lengthening ourselves back to standing. So we're going to do a very similar movement now. We're going to bring ourselves down onto the floor. I'm just going to turn my camera around so you'll be able to see me once we're down there. But we're going to come back into our roll down to bring ourselves down and onto the floor. Let me just adjust slightly so you'll be able to see me. There we go. Right, so this time again, rolling it down, and we're going to walk ourselves out and onto the floor. So taking a breath again, breathing out, nodding the head, rolling it down again. Letting go of the head and the arms. You can have the knees soft this time so you can reach the floor. When you're ready, just walk those hands out, bring your knees down, but keep the toes tucked under. So we're in all fours just very briefly, and we're going to take ourselves into a pike, or what's known as a down dog in yoga. So if you know that this might be too much, feel free to just have a rest for a moment. But if you can, take a breath. As you breathe out, just hover the knees off the mat and then start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Send yourself back, heels down towards the floor. You're feeling a big stretch down through the back of the legs. Hold it here if you can and start to gently walk through the feet. One heel down, one up, and just walk it through. It's a big stretch for the back of the legs. So if it does get too much, just lower yourself back down. Keep breathing as you walk it through. And keep it going for 4, 3, 2, 1. Both heels down. And now just soften those knees, bring them through. Lower yourself back down into all fours. And you can untuck the toes and settle the feet onto the mat. We're just going to come into one gentle cat stretch to come into some flexion. So taking a breath, breathing out as you start tucking the tail. Gently ripple through the spine, taking yourself into that nice gentle C curve, tucking the head, that nice long curve of the spine. Hold it here, taking a breath, And as you breathe out, start to send yourself back into your rest position. So sending yourself back to sit onto the heels. If you need to, open out the knees. Use pillows if you need to prop yourself up. Lower yourself down as much as you can. And we're going to hold this position to focus on some lateral breathing. So find where it's comfortable. Like I said, use some pillows, maybe behind the knees or underneath your forehead, so you can hold the position. And I want you to think about splitting the rib cage in half. You have a left side and a right side, and we're going to focus into each side of the rib cage. So take your awareness and your focus to the left side of the body, the left side of your rib cage. We're going to take 3 deep breaths into that left side. So when you're ready, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and try and really feel the breath expanding into the left side of the rib cage as much as you can. It might be very subtle, but as much as you can, sending the breath into the left side of the body. 3 breaths, and then when you're ready, doing the same on the right side. So take the awareness to the right side of the rib cage. 3 deep breaths, expanding into the right side. Feeling the breath into that side of the body. And when you've done your 3 breaths on each side, now just take one central breath, filling the whole rib cage, left and right side. And as you exhale, just slowly start to roll yourself up, tucking the tail under, starting to roll up, stacking the spine. Just briefly coming into kneeling there on the heels. We're going to come back onto all fours now. If you need to, maybe grab a folded towel to support the wrists or roll up the end of your mat, because we're going to be in this position and doing a little bit of weight bearing. So grab something if you need to for underneath your wrists. And again, just organize yourself, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. So we're going to come into a little bit of rotation. First of all, we're just going to slide the left leg away. So lengthen out the left leg behind you and tuck the toes under. So they're giving you a little bit of support and stability there on the floor. And we're going to reach the right arm out in front, just level with your ears. Just gently drawing in through the center. And take a breath in as you start to send the arm up. Reach it towards the ceiling. Follow with your eyes. Circle it round behind you. Coming all the way around past the thigh and then reaching forward. Again, breathing in as you send the arm up, circle it round behind you, and breathing out as you complete the circle. 2 more. Breathing in and out to circle. Don't worry too much about the position of your pelvis. Let yourself move. Lovely. Finish that last circle. Place the hand back onto the floor. Now this time we're going to take ourselves into a side reach. There's quite a lot happening here. So with your left foot still behind you, just start to swivel the foot. So you come onto the inner border of the foot, swivel on the knee so the right foot is coming behind you. Take your left hand away and reach towards the ceiling. So this is known as a star position here. And we're just going to take a breath and breathe out as you reach the arm over and take yourself into a side bend again. And we're going to hold it here and take 3 deep breaths again into that left side of the rib cage. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feeling the breath into that left side. Hold the stretch if you can. When you are ready, start to take the hand over your head. Gently rotate so you can bring that hand back down onto the floor. Bring the legs and the feet back in, knees underneath you, back into all fours. Well done, there's a lot happening So we're going to send the right leg away this time, tuck the toes under, reaching out through the left arm, level with your ear, just gently drawing in through the center again. Breathing in as you start to send the arm up, reach towards the ceiling, circle it round behind you as you breathe out and finish the circle. Breathing in, reaching up, breathing out to circle round. 2 more circles. Breathing in to start the circle, breathing out to finish. Let your body join in. Finish that last circle. Place the hand back onto the floor. Feel equal weight through the hands. Start to turn on that right foot this time. Taking the left foot back behind you. Take the right hand off the floor into your star. So reaching up towards the ceiling. And now just reaching over, take a breath. Breathing out, reaching over into that nice long side bend again. And 3 deep breaths into that right side of the body. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel that you're filling the body, that right side, with a big breath. When you're ready, bringing that hand around, gently rotate so you can bring the hand down to the floor and bringing those legs back around, knee underneath you and back into all fours. Well done. And taking a breath, breathing out now just to take yourself back all the way into your rest position. We're just going to take a moment to sit back, roll off the wrists if you need to, and just take a couple of deep breaths here just to release. Try and focus on a full breath into both sides of the rib cage. Expanding into the left and the right side. And again, with your next breath out, slowly stacking the spine, rolling back up. Stacking just into kneeling. And we're just going to turn ourselves around so we can sit to the end of our mat. So just slowly bring yourself around, sitting to the end of the mat. And we're just going to do 1 roll back. So we won't be here for too long. You won't need to sit on anything. If you can, take the legs flat to the floor, or maybe just have a soft bend in the knees if you need to. And we're going to do 1 roll back just so we can come all the way down to the floor. So lengthen out the legs or slightly soften in the knees. Just take those arms out in front of you, sitting tall, lengthening up through the spine. With your in-breath, just start to tuck the tail, tuck the chin, gently rounding the spine into your C curve. And as you take your breath out, start to slowly roll yourself back. Working it down nice and slow, controlling yourself down to the floor, bringing those arms back and reaching them over the head. Take yourself into a nice big full body stretch there for a moment. Reaching out through the fingers and the toes. Taking a big breath in. And then we're going to float the arms to come down by your side. We're going to keep the legs lengthened, but we're going to bring the legs together. So try and connect your feet and the inside of your legs. And just very slightly draw the feet towards you. So you just soften in the knees, not too far. So a slight softening in the knees, but the legs are still lengthened away from you. So we're going to focus into some movement in the pelvic area here. And it's the movement that we normally use to initiate a hip roll, which we're going to do in a moment, but I want to just really focus on this area because it's quite tricky to move through. So just settle through the back of your head and the back of your rib cage and the back of your pelvis. So watch that you haven't flattened the lower back into the floor in this position. Think about your neutral pelvis and spine. Just settle the arms down by your side. And now take a breath. And as you breathe out, just try and lift the left side of your pelvis very, very slightly off the floor. You might feel your bottom get a little bit lighter on that left side. And then breathing in as you bring it down. And now breathing out to try and lift the right side of your pelvis. And then breathing in as you bring it down. Breathing out, lifting the left side again. Breathing in, bringing it down. And just keep it going, alternating the lift on each side. It might be very subtle, that's fine. Because actually it's quite difficult to move in this area without wanting the legs to join in and the rest of the body. So really just try and focus into that pelvic area and around the hips. Let's just balance ourselves out. And bringing yourself back to neutral. Hips and pelvis are now level, and you can bring those feet in now to come into our standard hip roll. So the legs are still connected, feet and knees together. Just tuck them in towards you. Again, just settling the spine and the pelvis to neutral. Taking the arms into a wide V shape with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to use that movement through the pelvis now to initiate our hip roll. So taking a breath and breathing out as you try and lift the left side of your pelvis again. And then keep yourself going. So you start to take the legs over to the right. Keep the legs together and the feet stacked on top of one another. And just keep the shoulders down, so don't go too far. Breathing in as you come back to the center. Bring the left side of the pelvis down. And now breathing out as you lift the right side of the pelvis and roll yourself over to the left. Breathing in again as we come back to the center. One more each side. Try and keep the legs connected and almost feel that you're trying to lengthen the top leg away from you as you roll so that you're feeling a nice gentle stretch and twist down through the side of the body. Again, this nice lateral movement that we've been focusing on. So balancing out, bringing yourself into the center, and now we're going to combine a hip roll with a waist twist. So we're going to think about almost trying to wring out the spine in either direction. So just float the arms up and clasp the hands together just above your chest, elbows soft. So imagine maybe that you're hugging a big beach ball on top of your chest here. So soft arms, relax the shoulders, feel open across the chest, soften the elbows and just gently clasping those hands together. So now we're going to add a twist through the upper body at the same time as our hip roll. So taking a breath again, breathing out as you start to hip roll, and take the upper body in the opposite direction. So let your arms and your upper body gently twist to the other side. So we're wringing out the spine almost. Breathing in as you bring yourself back to the center. Knees and arms. And breathing out as we take it over to the other side. Opposite directions. Let the head join in slightly as well, turning to look over to the other side of the room. Breathing in again as we draw it back to the center. Let's go for 4 more. Breathing out as we roll and twist through the upper body. Keep those elbows soft, holding onto that big beach ball on top of you. Breathing in back to the center. Breathing out to the other side. So this is really lovely for the spine. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. And if it does get too much, maybe just focus on the hip rolls again if you need to. Balancing yourself out to each side. And bringing yourself back to the center. when you're ready, you can release the hands, float the arms back down by your side, and return the feet hip width and parallel, bringing yourself back into your neutral relaxation position. So now we're going to focus again on a little bit of movement through the pelvis, but we're going to just come into our spine curls first of all, just mobilizing the spine slightly, and then we'll add a little bit more movement. So just make sure that the feet aren't too far away from you. Taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, just gently tilt the pelvis towards you. Feel the lower back gently imprint the floor. Continue tilting the pelvis so you start to peel off the mat, and slowly peeling away, wheeling the spine off the floor so you come into your bridge, lifting through the hips. Taking a breath in at the top, breathing out as we work it down, bone by bone. Returning the spine and the pelvis all the way back to neutral. We're just going to do 2 more here of a standard spine curl in your own time, and then we'll add to it. Really try and feel that you're working one vertebra at a time, coming towards the bottom of the shoulder blades, not too far that you come onto the back of your neck. Finishing number 3, bringing it down, settling yourself back to neutral. And this time we're going to come up and we're going to hold the position and work through the pelvis. So we're going to try and work segments of the spine to gradually work ourselves back down to the floor. So again, this is quite nice for different areas, segments of the spine. So taking a breath, breathing out again as we slowly start to peel away again. Peeling ourselves off, lifting through the hips and standing into the feet here. We did a similar movement in the classes this week, so you might find this quite familiar. So just like you did on the floor, but in a different direction. So this time, try and drop your left hip slightly, and then lift. And then the right side, slightly drop, and lift. And now just think about coming down into the floor, just very, very slightly. So start to feel the back of the rib cage slightly imprint the floor. And we're going to do that movement again through the hips. So you're going to drop the left side, lift, then the right side, and lift. And slowly, very gradually, coming down into the floor a little bit further. So start to feel the mid-back coming into the floor. Again, with the pelvis, drop the left side, lift, drop the right side, lift, coming down a little bit further into the floor, and it starts to get a little bit more challenging the further you come down. Left side, right side, but we're working through segments, so taking it down a little bit further, and again, left side and right side. We're going to do it all the way until we come back to neutral. A little bit further, left side gets a little bit harder, right side. Start to feel the lower back coming into the floor. We're not quite at neutral. Left side, right side. Again, coming down a little bit further, and you might start to feel the lower back just slightly imprinting. Let's try it one more time. Left side, right side, and then release yourself all the way and back to neutral. So really lovely, just working through those different segments of the spine to try and release on the way down. We're going to come back into our standard spine curls. We're just going to add the arms to finish. So taking a breath again when you're ready. Breathing out, gently tilting through the pelvis and peeling off. Might feel a little bit looser now through the spine as you start to come up into that bridge. Hold it there. Take a breath in now as you float the arms all the way over, reaching back behind the head and breathing out as we spine curl down. Working down through the back of the rib cage, all the way down, returning the pelvis to neutral. Breathing in, float the arms back down by your side and breathing out again as we spine curl off the floor. Just going to do 2 more of these. Finding the height. Breathing in, floating the arms over. Breathing out, working it down, bone by bone. Returning to neutral. Breathing in, float the arms, and our last one. Breathing out, spine curl one more time. Peeling away, lifting the hips. Breathing in, floating the arms back over the head. Breathing out, working it down through the spine. All the way back to neutral. And breathing in, float the arms down. With your out breath, just let yourself relax into the floor. We're just going to hug the knees in towards the chest. So bring those knees in towards you, give them a hug. And we're just going to do a little bit of a hip stretch here before we come into our relaxation. So hugging the right knee and send the left leg away, just lengthening it out along the floor. Just gently hugging that right knee in towards you. So we're getting a stretch through both sides, in both hips, slightly different position. And we're just going to gently flex the feet and start to circle into the ankles. Roughly 5 circles in each direction, just to release through the ankles. Breathing naturally, changing direction when you're ready. When you've done your 5 in each direction, you can bring that left leg back in towards you and we'll switch over. Hug the left knee in towards you, slide the right leg away along the floor. Just feeling that little stretch there for a moment. Flexing the feet and again circling into those ankles. 5 circles in each direction. Breathing naturally. Changing direction when you're ready. And come to a stop when you're ready. Again, just slide that right leg in. Have one more hug of both knees, just gently drawing them in towards you. Taking a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you can just send those feet back down to the floor. And we're just going to do a little bit of focus on breathing before we come into our full relaxation. So just place one hand on top of your chest and one hand onto your abdomen. So just below your belly button and your hand just slightly above your chest, right at the top. And just for a moment, just try and relax your arms and relax your shoulders. And just breathe naturally for a moment. And just feel where your breath goes. You can close your eyes if you want to. And feel, is the breath maybe more into your hand on your abdomen, or is it maybe in your hand on your chest, or is it in both hands? Just taking awareness to where the breath is going. And now just try and take the breath into the top of the chest. So in your hand that is resting at the top, just above your chest, try and take 3 deep breaths into that hand. Try and avoid it creeping down into your belly. And just focus it into the top of the rib cage. And then taking 3 breaths now into the hand that's resting down on your abdomen. So a low breath right down. It might need to be a longer breath now so you can reach all the way down to the hand. 3 deep breaths. Just feel the rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. And now taking another 3 breaths, but now into both hands. So filling the body with a deep breath into both hands. Feeling the rise and fall. again, just start to breathe naturally. You can take the hands away. And we're now just going to bring ourselves into whichever position feels comfortable. So at this point, if you want to, feel free to grab some pillows. If you want to stay on the floor, feel free to pop your pillows behind you. And you can stay on your back if you want to, or maybe roll yourself onto your side. Or if you prefer, feel free to sit yourself on a chair or sit yourself on the floor. So just finding whichever position feels comfortable for you. We're going to take a few minutes to really try and relax. We're going to focus a little bit on breathing and some mindfulness. So settling yourself back, maybe lengthen out the legs if you want to. Just bring yourself into a comfortable position. And take several long, slow, deep breaths. Breathing in fully and exhaling slowly. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your stomach expand on an inhale and relax and let go as you exhale. Begin to let go of noises around you. Begin to shift your attention from outside to inside yourself. If you are distracted by sounds in the room, simply notice this and bring your focus back to your breathing. Now slowly bring your attention down to your feet. Soften the soles and uncurl your toes. Soften your ankles. Soften your calves. Release your knees. Release your thighs. Allow your hips to open. Allow the small of your back to open and release. Feel and enjoy the length of your spine, but let it go. Take your awareness down to your hands. Stretch your fingers away from your palms. Feel the center of your palms opening. Then allow the fingers to curl and the palms to soften. Allow your elbows to open. Allow the front of your shoulders to soften. With each out breath, allow your shoulder blades to widen. Allow your breastbone to soften. Allow your neck to release. Check your jaw. It should be loose and free. Allow your tongue to widen at its base and rest comfortably at the bottom of your mouth. Your lips are softly closed. Your eyes are softly closed. Enjoy the soft darkness. Your forehead is wide and smooth. Your face feels soft. Your body soft and warm. Allow your body to sink into the pillows, into the floor. Observe your breathing, breathing naturally and full. Bring your awareness back to your breathing and observe its natural rhythm. Wiggle your fingers and then your toes. And now just take your time to move slowly when moving out of your relaxation. Just take your time coming up from the floor. Hopefully no one fell asleep. And well done. Thank you very much. We are finished and hopefully we feel relaxed and calm and ready for the rest of the day. So thank you very much.